The Real Estate Hour, the longest-running real estate talk show in the North Bay. Heard every Sunday morning right here on KSRO for over 35 years. Hosted by Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman, local realtors with local real estate experience. The Norman Home Team, a mother-daughter real estate team with Keller Williams Realty Wine Country. And now, here are Allison and Stephanie.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday and happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Just like every other one, it's come and gone.
I know, but it's a good chance to, get with your family and and it's all about you
It
for
was
a
a
day.
good week.
Oh, good. I'm having a major issue with my headphones.
Are they not working?
No, it's okay. We'll pretend they are.
And it is the last Sunday of April.
It is. My goodness, it's gonna be May. Isn't there a song about it? Gonna be May?
Yes.
Also, congratulations to Stephanie, because this is your third year as officially as a realtor, although we've established that it's been 20 years right along my side, even coming home from high school and doing some work with Mike and I and helping us through that. But 3 years ago, Stephanie said, okay, fine. I'll go into the family business. And she got her real estate license, and it's been a lot of fun working together. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
That's all you get. Woohoo! A couple bells and whistles. A happy birthday to Joe, and off we go. We celebrated Earth Day. Was your birthday on Earth Day, Joe? No, it's 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
Okay, you are almost on Earth Day.
Yeah.
So kind of in honor of Earth Day, although it's coming on, just like Joe's birthday, we wanted to talk about, we're going to talk about solar today. And I think, we're kind of going, what can we talk about that has to do with Earth Day and, the environment and all that. So solar is a great thing to have, to use, harness the power of the sun and all of that. However, it can be extremely complicated and problematic when you're selling your property, depending on what type of solar plan you have. So there's own it outright, you're buying it, or you've purchased it with the property. It came with the property as already owned, transferred with the property, no payments due at all. Or there's a lien that can be on your property that the owner had to pay off when they sold the property. Or you are looking at selling your house and now you have to figure out, okay, there's solar. Is it a lease? Is it a PPA, power purchase agreement? Is it a PACE lien or SCEIP, Sonoma County Energy Efficiency Program, which is our version of PACE here in Sonoma County, or is it something else? So are there monthly payments?
And that's one of the biggest things that come up on a house that's being sold and has solar panels. The buyers always ask, are the solar panels paid off, or is that what is happening with those?
Yeah, are they owned?
Always a question that comes up, and it's a very important question.
It really is, and it can actually affect your ability to get a loan on that for a couple of reasons. One is the monthly payment. It goes towards your debt to income. Yeah. The lender is going to see it. They're going to go, okay, they're going to add $200 or whatever it is a month. Now, maybe you don't qualify. If you were that tight on your qualifying to where if you add another $200 a month in essentially, debt, monthly payment, are you now going to qualify for that same amount? That being said, on the other end of that, if you can show, some lenders, not all lenders, but some lenders will look at, okay, well, they're saving, $300 a month. Because they have the solar and they don't have the $400 a month utility bill. Maybe it's like $100 or less, So, and that all depends, how much electricity you're using. You have gas also and all of those things, but it can make a difference either way. And then if it's a loan, it actually has to be paid off. They won't lend on a property that has that loan. So it can be really problematic, but it can be really good as well. So definitely. It just depends, and it's really important to know. So we're going to take a deep dive into that, all about solar, the second half of the show. What else? We're going to look at our market numbers.
Market updates.
And then also we had an interesting question about off grid. We talked a lot about like rehab loans, renovation loans, and all that last week. The FHA, the VA, the conventional, and then which one am I missing? USDA for rural properties. You can also incorporate energy efficient things like adding solar to the house when you're purchasing. All of those you can do with those renovation loans. But also the question then came up, like, what if you're completely off grid? Or what if you want to have a home that's completely off grid? And off grid meaning no public utilities, no, nothing. It's all, coming from you put a solar panel, you have a one of those toilets that or you have a septic system, but you have one of those toilets that like disintegrates. I forget what they're called, but it is a thing. Sonoma County doesn't like some of that stuff. So we asked the question, can you get a loan on a property like that that's off grid? So we're going to talk about that as well. Short answer is yes, it depends. And just like a lot of things in real estate, right? It depends. Before we do that, you have some...
Well, we're also going to be talking about smart homes, the Hidden Valley of Green upgrades, and we'll have market updates and more.
Yes.
And today is the last day of the Sebastopol Apple... Is it the Gravenstein Apple Festival?
The Apple Fair or Apple Festival?
I believe the parade was yesterday, and today's just the festival. Yes. And then it's also the, I just posted it. It's the wildfire and safety.
Earthquake.
Safety. Earthquake. I think it was wildfire too.
Yeah, no, it is. I was finishing your sentence.
Oh, thank you.
It's wildfire and earthquake safety. Actually, we talked about it last week. Halter Project is going to be there as well. They're helping you kind of understand how to prepare if you have animals in an emergency.
And that is at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds from 10 a.m. to 3.
Perfect.
It's free, and it's very important information. So definitely check that out.
Okay. That's good. And then, let's talk about the coming up May 8th, I believe, the golf tournament that we're...
Yeah, Roner Park Chamber of Commerce.
We're doing the annual golf tournament. It's on Friday the 8th. We are sponsoring a hole.
We are, yes.
So we'll see if you sign up. I think there's still room to sign up for that. Did you have information on that, or just send people to Roner Park Chamber Golf Tournament and it'll come up?
Yeah.
We'll post the information again on Facebook. I think it was there a while ago.
I'll post it because I didn't find the correct one.
How do people find us on Facebook?
The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. You can find us on YouTube, the Real Estate Hour.
Yeah, the Sonoma County Real Estate Hour on YouTube. I've been told by somebody, we're working on our branding and all of that, but I was told by somebody that really our YouTube channel should be the Real Estate Hour. It's Sonoma County Real Estate Hour.
Oh,
but anyway, so to make it match up with everything else. We may change that, but for now it's Sonoma County Real Estate Hour on YouTube, and we post all of our past videos of our show. And then we're going to be breaking those down into smaller segments too, and so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Or you can always scroll forward or whatever, fast forward to the end of the show. Usually we have our main topic of what we're going to be talking about the second half of our 1 hour show. So you can always just go fast forward to that part. We don't want to hear about the market. We don't want to hear about events and all that. But we
post all of that too on our Facebook page, the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman.
Yep, and then Joe puts on KSRO.
Puts it on our podcast on KSRO.
Lots of ways to find us.
Yes, and find all the information we're talking about.
Yeah. So should we take a break? I don't even know what time it is. Yeah, let's take a quick break. We come back. We will. We'll talk about the numbers.
Yes,
let's take a look at that. What happened in real estate this last week and what's currently active going on in the market right now. We'll talk about that when we get back from our break. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning. We're back.
Good morning.
Back. Welcome back. It is a beautiful sunny day today.
It is. It's going to be a little cloudy, though.
You're going to a Giants game.
I am, yes. Yay. I'm hoping the weather will be nice.
Really?
She is. Right after the show. She's going to jet out of here. And, Yeah, because what? It starts at 1. You got to get to
hit
the
road.
city and all that stuff. Well,
Go get a win. They really need it.
Yeah, she's going to bring her luck.
Yes.
She's the lucky charm.
Hoping.
Anyway, awesome. Okay, let's take a quick look at what happened in real estate this last week.
Yes, good idea.
And what you have what happened last week. I have what's currently active and what's going. We like to look at it both ways. I think the market update of what's currently happening, looking, not looking at just one little tiny picture snapshot, really gives you a better idea of what's happening in the market. But we like to see what's going on from week to week, and it's interesting to see how many new listings are coming on, how many things are going into escrow and all of that, and how many things closed and all of that. So we look at it both ways. You can pick and choose which way, where you pull your information from. Stephanie always posts these numbers on our Facebook page, The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, and Norman Home Team Wine Country. Both of those are real estate pages. So, you don't have to take notes. It's all nicely put in all one big picture for you. And it really is a good idea, I think, to look back and say, okay, how, because otherwise we're just throwing numbers at you and you're like, well, what does that mean that there's 800 active listings?
And I know that maybe not everyone cares about it, but there are people that if we don't put the numbers or talk about the numbers, we get messages.
You didn't say the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we do it. We want to make sure everyone's informed of the numbers and market updates. And
then throughout the week, somebody will say, when we're meeting with a potential client or we're just talking to somebody at a networking event, they go, how's the market? And then they say, how many active listings are there? And the fact that we can go, let me tell you, because I just pulled it up on Sunday.
Exactly,
we do keep track of it, and we keep track of it for multiple reasons, like Stephanie just said. So, so anyway, if you don't like it, you can tune us down. Not that I don't think anyone's ever complained.
Yeah.
I just always kind of think, well, I hope people don't mind hearing all these numbers, but there is a reason why we track the numbers, and I think it's really important. We said last week as well, you hear it all the time on the news, what's happening, but they're throwing out numbers that make absolutely no sense for us here.
It's national,
kind of national numbers, just like when they talk about the price of gas, it's $3 a gallon. Oh my gosh! And if that was here, we would be so excited. But so it's different where you live, so than what you watch. So we like to keep a track of those numbers for that reason. Okay, so taking a look at what's currently active in the market right now, single-family homes. There are 800 active single-family homes. You can get out there and put an offer on one of those. All over the county and every single price point. The median price for those that are active right now is $1,259,000. That's the middle of the market. It's a needle that moves up and down based on how many listings there are and which price point. And then that's up a little bit from last week. It was $789 last week, and it just keeps inching up, and that's really pretty normal because we're really in the thick of the spring market right now, when everybody says, okay, I'll put my house on the market in April. We go, okay, but so is everyone else. But anyway, so that we see it in the numbers, and that's why I like looking at the numbers, is the things that we tell people and the things that we feel when we're out there in the market, or when you're out there looking to buy a home. There's numbers justify what you're feeling, and it's kind of cool to me. I think I'm just weird. Yeah. I'm just weird that way, maybe. But anyway, so that's what's active. What's in escrow, there are 319 listings, single-family homes in escrow. That's not part of that 800. So there's 800 active, there's 319 in escrow, and then we'll see at the beginning of May what sold in April. The median price for the in escrow is $870,000. That number is always lower because we always see more lower priced homes going into escrow than higher priced homes. So that's why there's a big difference between the active and in escrow numbers. And that 319 is actually up quite a bit from last week. It was 277 in escrow last week. So not only are we seeing more listings come on the market, but we're seeing more listings go into escrow. So that's good news. When we start not seeing more, one's getting bigger, the other one isn't, then you get a little worried. If you're hearing stories about, oh my gosh, there's, nothing selling, there's all these listings on the market, it's not, it's all depends on where you are and what part of the market you're looking at. Okay, so condos, active condos, there are 137 condos and townhouses, and then 45 in escrow, 137 on the market. active on the market. Those numbers are pretty much the same as last week. Mobile homes in a park, there are 83 active with 39 in escrow. Again, pretty similar to last week. Multi-units, 2 to 4 units, 102 active on the market with 17 in escrow. Similar to last week as well. It's up a tiny bit. And then land, it's over that 300 mark again. We saw it go up, and then we were happy that it came back down, but it's up again. It just means there's a lot of land out there.
Yes,
and it's up only one from last week, but that's a lot, over 300 pieces of land. But it's all of Sonoma County. It's all buildable residential land. So that doesn't even include all the ag land and non-buildable.
It's not always there's all these listings of the land properties, but it's not
what you're looking for.
Exactly. It's not what everyone's looking for.
Yeah, if you're out there looking for land, you're not finding 300 pieces of land that are going to work for you, right? There might be a few, or if any, there's so much land available, but none of it fits what I need.
Exactly.
You're right, and that's a good point. There are 38 in escrow. That's almost the same. I mean, all of these numbers, except for the single-family homes, are pretty close to what they were last week. The good news is the buyer in escrow is keeping up with the listings that are on the market. So we like to see that. Okay, so you have a snapshot of what happened this last week, right?
So last Sunday to this Sunday, we have for Sonoma County single-family residential new listings, 136 with a median list price of $899,000, and that is lower than the median sold price, because there was most likely a lower price home that was listed, and it kind of changed the numbers just for the week.
Yeah, I think the weekly numbers move more drastically.
They do,
than the other, don't they?
And so back on market, we have 16, price reduction 70, in escrow 99, and we actually are one of those in escrow.
Woohoo! Our Thorn, our beautiful
property.
House that we wanted to buy.
I'm so jealous of whoever the buyer.
It's like one of those things where if only, it's like when when preparation meets opportunity, amazing things happen. And unfortunately we weren't prepared, but boy, I would have bought that house.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's in escrow now.
It is, so woohoo. Congratulations.
And congrats to everybody else. But we still have to go through all the inspections.
We're not completely closed yet. And so pending, there's 51, sold 65 with a median sold price of $919. And that's that number I was talking about where it's higher than the median list price. And it's because most likely there was a lower priced home
that came listed on the market, huh?
Yeah, that was listed this week, probably this last week. And then with the 48 average days on the market.
That's come down. It was pretty high. I felt it was up to like the 80 or so, 60, 80. And people ask us about that too all the time. Like how long are homes on the market right now, or is it a buyer's market or seller's market? It's definitely still a buyer's market, but it depends. I'm sorry, it's definitely still erase that, backtrack. It's definitely a seller's market, but it's moving more into an even market. However, I would say I think the biggest opportunity right now is the high end, because we do have more high end homes on the market. They're taking a little longer to sell. As a buyer, if you're thinking about a move up, or somebody coming into the area in that high end or looking for a second or vacation home, I think there's a lot of opportunity in that segment of the market to really negotiate on a price. And I'm not saying come in and beat up the sellers. And if you're a seller, we represent both sides, but we see all of it. But so there's a way, if you're a seller in a high end market or high price, you need to know that they're, one, this is what agents are telling their buyers, and two, price it right, because there's not a flood of buyers coming into the high end of the market, the luxury market here in the wine country estates and vineyard properties. Vineyard properties too are having a little trouble too, just because.
And I was just gonna say, for our listeners out there, what makes it a seller's market?
So if you have, really the way they look at it is months supply on the market, right? So 5 to 6 months is really where it crosses over from a buyer to a seller. We haven't seen 5 months of inventory. When you look at the broad picture, we haven't seen 5 months of inventory in a long time. Probably back, when was the trough, the low of after the market crash back in 2006, 7, 8. I think around 10, 11 is when it kind of hit the bottom and then started going back up. But yeah, 5 to 6 months of inventory we haven't. And that's when I say the broad. So when you're looking at, I think even in the luxury market, there's still, I don't think 5 months of inventory. I have to break it down and look exactly at that. But we're really sitting at probably about 2.5 to 3 months of inventory. And what they mean by inventory, months of inventory, is this is how long, if no other house is sold, nothing else came on the market, this is how long it would take, based on the data, to sell all of the homes that are sitting on the market. So there is a calculation that you can do to figure it out based on sold, listed, what's in escrow. I think escrow usually count as still active because it's not closed yet. And then there's a calculation you do to come up with how many months supply, or they also call it absorption rate, which is the same thing. It's just a different way of the numbers are different, or the way you read the numbers are different. But anyway, so we haven't been in the broad things. There are some segments of the market, like the land, and but again, like you said, there isn't a bunch of land for you to find. It's so maybe in that segment, that type of land you're looking for, maybe it is still a seller's market, so it really depends, and you have to break it down. But yes, statistics or the way they look at the data and figure out month supply and buyer versus seller's market is when we hit that 5 to 6 month of inventory mark, and then it switches over. So anything under 5 months it's a seller's market. If there's more than 6 months, you're definitely in a buyer's market. So you got to look at that segment.
Yeah, definitely. And so if you're wanting any specific areas for market updates, or if it's what's happening, seller's market, buyer's market.
Yeah, what's happening in where you're looking, what town you're looking in, what neighborhood.
Let us know. Reach out to us. nodumbquestion@gmail.com, and we will help you out with that.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into solar power for your home. Okay, and what does that mean when you go to sell? I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
With the Norman Home Team. You're listening to The Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Hour. We were just talking about the golf tournament. Actually, it's too late if you didn't sign up. April 24th, this last Friday, was you had to sign up by then to play. All of the sponsorship spots are sold out, which is nice. And but we can talk about it anyway in case you signed up. And you want to know for next year, they do it every year. It's Roanoke Park Chamber of Commerce, which is a really nice. We are members of that after several years of going to a couple of their mixers and events, and we really should join. And then we finally did. So we are members of the chamber, and we are sponsoring a hole at this. So it's so what it is. It is the 18 and networking golf tournament sponsored by the Roanoke Park Chamber and the Lime Foundation. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be there all day. It's coming up on the 8th, and we don't know what hole we're going to be at, but if you're playing in the tournament, is that what you say, Joe? Playing? I'm not an avid golfer. If you're playing in the tournament, no, that works. Okay. Don't want people to go, what is she talking about? It's like when you say, teeing off. Okay. Anyway, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be there Friday, May 8th at the Foxtail Golf Club. I think it's Foxtail in Roanoke Park.
Yes, Foxtail Golf Club.
Dun, da, da. So yeah.
Premier North Coast.
Anyway, say hi if you're playing it. Come by and say hi. You'll see our. Again, I don't know which hole we're sponsoring, but we are, and we'll be doing something fun, and we don't know what yet. But anyway, so okay. So let's move on and talk about, I mentioned at the beginning, solar is a great thing. It's awesome that we can harness the power of the sun to, to save energy on all of that. Not save energy, save the cost. But there is, it can be really problematic.
Yeah, definitely.
And several of the reasons why it can be problematic is if, one thing that's really difficult is if you don't know anything about your system and you put your house on the market, because the questions are going to come,
Yes,
and so
will.
we try and head all of that off ahead of time when we're getting your house ready for the market and say, okay, where's the solar contract? Is it owned? Is it a monthly payment you make? What is your PG&E bill? I mean, gathering all of that information together is really important. What kind of system it is. Is there a payoff penalty if you want to cancel the contract?
Is there a lien on the property?
Is there? Yeah. Is it a loan? Is it a lease? Is it in part of your tax assessment, or you're paying monthly? And all of those things, unless you own it outright, all of those things can affect the buyer's ability to get a loan, because in many, and I would argue that most situations, you're going to have to pay it off. And a lot of times a lease is transferred, and we do see that happen. When that can be problematic is, maybe they don't want solar. Maybe they'd rather not have a lease. They want their own solar panels that they own, because there's the plan, there's the power purchase agreement, which actually you don't own the solar panels. They just come along and say, hey, knock, knock, hello. And you say, we'd like to put some solar panels on your house. It won't cost you anything. And you go, cool, let's do it. How soon are you planning on selling your house? Are you staying there for a while? That's great. If not, what does that contract look like? What are the monthly payments going to be? What can you transfer it to a buyer? What does that look like? Is there a cost to transfer? How old is the roof? Because if you need to replace your roof and there's solar panels on there, even if it's the power purchase agreement, I believe, and then you got to look at your fine print, because they charge you to, or you have to pay someone to come take the solar panels off, replace the roof, put the solar panels back on. Is the buyer going to want to do all that if they have to replace the roof in 5 years, 10 years? So, and how long is this lease? Sometimes they're like 20-year, or it's either a lease or it's like an agreement that you're going to let them put their solar panels on. And then you agree to buy the power that generates from those solar panels from them. So you're not making a monthly payment, but it's you're buying your energy from them, and it supposedly is less. And I shouldn't say supposedly, because but anyway, as they say, but do your research.
So when we go to list a house that has solar panels, when we know that it's paid off, it's always a sigh of relief. It's like, oh goodness,
yeah,
good.
It's paid off.
We're not going to have to worry about
right
dealing with the loan or anything, because
right.
it's paid off, and it's just a big sigh of relief.
Yes, it is much better if it's owned. If it's not, we're not saying that's a horrible thing. It's because, for some people, the fact that you can have solar, is great for some people. And so, so we're not saying, it's a horrible thing. We're saying no, and it can really slow down an escrow. So if you're selling your house, have all that information available up front. There's actually a solar advisory and questionnaire that is now part of our transaction documents, seller disclosures, and they ask those questions that the buyers need to know. Is it a lease? Is it a power purchase agreement? Is it a own solar? Is it a lien? Like there's the Sonoma County Energy Independence Program, which is a PACE program, which is a program. PACE. I can't remember what PACE stands for, but anyway, SCEIP is our version of it here in Sonoma County. It allows you to get solar panels, and they put the cost of those solar panels in the solar system on the solar power system. I don't think it's called a solar system, but anyway, that's the one up in the universe. But anyway, it puts it as a lien on your property, but it's a tax. It's like an assessment. It's part of your taxes that you pay. Yeah. That one has to be paid off. The lender won't. There's some. I think there were some they were trying to put into place that'll allow that to transfer. I don't know if all lenders or any lenders will say, sure, we'll take second position underneath this tax lien, because tax liens are always first position if you were to foreclose, if the property were to foreclose, and they're the first ones to get paid. So the tax lien, so lenders, a lot of lenders don't want to go in second position. They want to be in first position. So that was really problematic, and they were trying to work that out, but I don't think they have. So it's something really important to understand and to know. And then the contracts, the lease, a lot of times those can be transferred. We've done those transactions where they can be transferred. But again, like I said, it's does that couple $100 a month or whatever, it's usually around $200-$300 a month, from what I've seen. Is that gonna the lender's gonna know about that? That's one of your things that you have to, your monthly payments, one of your debt, and when they look at your debt to income and you have to fit into that percentile, that percentage of debt to income, it's like usually around 50% or so. It depends, but just some of them are 45. What was the USDA one you were saying was like 40? It's pretty low. So it means that all of your debt, including your cost of your house payments, can't be more than whatever 45% of your income. So you're adding a couple $100 a month on there. If you can show, I think if you can offset that with your electric bill, you might be able to have that conversation with the lender. But lenders tend to look at things. They don't dive that deep, I don't think. And lenders that are listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're not going to, I don't think they look that hard at how much are you saving on the solar? They're going to say, okay, you're paying this much for the solar. Maybe you don't qualify for this loan anymore if this lease. A lot of sellers, we have two right now. Excuse me. We have two listings coming up that have solar. Yeah. And they are both a solar loan. They're both a lien on the property. So when you pull the preliminary title report, it shows that they are a lien. It's a lien that has to be paid. So it'll have to, the title company will require, just like any other lien, they require that lien to be removed in order to clear, clean transfer of title. Excuse me. So, and both of those sellers have said, we understand those have to be paid, and they will. And so the bonus to that is now that the buyer gets a complete free and clear payment. No payment, nice solar system. When it gets problematic in that case is, well, how old is the solar system? How old is the roof? In this situation, they're both in good condition, and they're both newer. The roof is in good condition, and it's not, anyway.
And
newer systems,
yes.
Solar systems. Yeah. So, I guess that is the right term, solar system.
Solar panels?
I said it sounded like
the one in space.
Well, not the one in space, the one on your roof. Anyway, so there's a lot to really be aware of, and it's I think it's a great, to be able to have the solar, harness the power of the sun and all of that, to save on, not so much of the fossil fuels and all of the things maybe that are hurting the environment. Solar, I think, is a great thing.
It definitely is.
But again, the realtor in us, both of us go, oh, it has solar. And so it shouldn't be. It's just like, oh my gosh, awesome, it has solar. Yeah. And so our job as your listing agent is to make the buyer understand the benefits of the solar it has. Not that, oh gosh, it has a solar lease and there's this, but it's going to be paid off. You're going to get this new solar system that's for your home power source, and it's going to be paid off at close of escrow. So, and having the seller have their contract available, have their PG&E bill, really want to show, look at how much you're saving by having this. Look at the benefit of having this this solar on your house. And so I think it can be. And then the big question comes up. Does it add value to your house? And that's it depends, I think. I don't think we've seen enough evidence of it adding value, like by an appraiser going, oh, it has paid solar, let's add $50,000 to the value of the house. Yeah. I don't know if they do. If they can show that there is, a lot of times with appraisers, it's like they have to find comps, comparable. Are there other solar houses that sold for more because, other houses that had solar that sold for more because they had solar? Is it a high-end listing, property, or is it a lower end? Is it a lease? All of those things. Usually they're going to look at, is it owned solar? And does that add some value? I think in that case, it probably adds a little bit of value, but just like things like, having dual pane windows, or having a pool, or having an ADU. Well, ADU definitely adds value, but it's a lot of it is in the, in the eye of the beholder. Do you want solar?
Exactly,
did you want to deal with solar, or you don't like solar? You want, I don't know why you wouldn't like it, but you don't want to deal with it.
I was going to mention a pool too, because you would think a pool would bring value.
Yeah.
But it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
If you are looking for a property with a pool, then it adds value to you.
To you, yeah, not necessarily to the appraiser, right?
Other buyers will go in and be like, oh, geez, it has a pool. Like, I'm going to have to get that filled in because I don't want a pool.
Yeah, a lot of people will just completely cross it off their list if it has a pool. No, I do not want to. I've been there, done that. I do not want a pool. Whereas if I was shopping, my next home is going to have a pool.
Oh, yeah.
It's on my list. It's got to have a pool.
Yes.
Or be on a lake, So, here in California, I'm not going to find a house on a lake right now in my price point. But one can dream, right? And it should have some acreage and room for animals and all those things. Anyway, we can dream. Okay, so that's what's going on with solar. And I think it is, we looked at the solar, the difference, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all of the things. And it does, I think it is a benefit. And I think the big thing, though, is I think the big thing we want you to take away from this today is if you are selling a house that has solar, we really need to have all that information. What kind of a solar purchase is, what kind of panels are they? Because, and then now California has a new, I think it's a couple of years old, and it's the NEM. It's an acronym, and I'm sorry, I have no idea what it means, but I should. But it's the NEM 2 or 3, and now it's 3. And the difference was, see if I can remember from what I read, because I have it printed, but I don't know where it is right now. But it's that they used to, if you had an overage, you could sell your the extra power and then get money back for it, and that was with the NEM2 system, and then with NEM3 is a new thing where they actually, if you're selling, they lowered the amount of money you would get for the power that you're selling back. And so what I was reading was saying it's now become even more important not just to have solar, but to have solar plus a battery backup if you're adding value to your home.
Oh, yeah.
Of what somebody wants to see that they're going to be excited about is not only do you have solar, but you have a battery backup.
Yeah, and NEM is net energy metering.
Thank you so much. Oh, Joe was looking at it. I know. I'm like, I don't remember what it means. But
a solar policy allowing homeowners to receive credit for excess electricity their solar systems sends back to the grid. Yeah, and then they would get money for it. And then they anyway. So, but they've with the NEM3, which is the new thing. They are the amount of money you get back was drastically reduced, if I'm understanding what I read correctly. And so it is. Yeah. So here we'll read what it says. So under the NEM 3.0, exported energy is credited at a lower avoided cost rate, approximately 1 cent per kilowatt hour, rather than the full retail rate. Battery storage to make solar profitable under NEM 3.0, batteries are now highly recommended, storing energy to use during the 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. peak when retail rates are highest, provides better returns than selling excess power. And then the payback period, despite lower credit, systems are projected to break even in roughly 9 to 10 years. And then grandfathering in customers who applied for interconnection before April 14, 2023 in California
with the NEM 2.0 or 1.0 generally keep their higher rate for 20 years. So anyway, so it's just important to understand that there's information that the buyer's going to want to know. And that, I think that's the most important takeaway on that. There also is, I read somewhere that there's a lawsuit right now, and it's been working its way through. And as of this month, I think it was going to the California Supreme Court, arguing that I don't know, they're arguing that that's not fair, that you made this change and we don't get paid as much on, for what we agreed to, I guess. So I don't want to dive too deep into that because I don't have all the information and I'm not an expert. We just like to let you know that this is what's important to buyers. And if you have solar, it's really important for them to understand, or for a seller to understand what it is what they're getting, They want to know, and this is something that's on your roof, and are you going to have to get rid of it? Is it gonna last? And it also adds that, but you really should add solar inspection to your list of inspections that you're doing when you're buying a house, and really looking at that documentation and what is it going to cost me, and how much am I going to save, and is it worth it?
So moving on from solar, we're going to move to making your home greener other than solar.
Right. But we're going to take a break first.
After we come back from our break.
Okay, so making your home. Yeah, and there's the term greenwashing that you hear a lot, especially around Earth Day. So, what is greenwashing? So let's talk about that
when we get back from the break.
Perfect. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team. You're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning. Good morning. We are back. So we wrapped up our solar, and basically the lesson to take away from that segment of our show is really that gather your information together, do it early, ask your agent, the listing agent, if you're selling your property, if it's not us, ask them. We always do it automatically, and a lot of realtors are now pulling a prelim early. As a pre-list, it's on our list of things. Okay, we are going to list a property. First thing we're going to do is call our trustee. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Call our title company rep or our escrow officers and just say, hey, we wanted to do a pre-list escrow and pull a prelim because there's solar or because it was a trust and the person died or various reasons, or it's a divorce, and we want to make sure, are there any other liens on the property, because you don't want that to come up when you're in escrow.
Yeah.
And then derail an entire thing, or have to spend a bunch of time fixing something where we could have fixed it ahead of time. So that's one of them. If you have solar, absolutely pull that prelim and see what it says on there. If there's a loan on there, if it's on your tax bill or whatever. Because a buyer needs to know, and there's actually a form, a California Association of Realtors. You're going to have to fill all that information out. So moving on from solar, what do you have? A list of kind of some energy efficient upgrades,
right? Yeah, making your home green.
Green, because it's Earth Day, or it was.
Some energy efficiency upgrades: LED lighting, smart thermostats, insulation and ceiling, which I think that is a big one and could add value to your home, because if a buyer goes into your house and sees that the windows are failed, they're like, oh, I have to get new windows. So what is that going to cost me?
Or if it's like the original single pane,
Yes, the single pane windows. That's another big one where they just see dollar signs.
Yes, and they do. And what else? Sorry.
And then efficient appliances. Solar power, like we talked about, it could be a good...
could be a good thing, could be a problematic, so knowing ahead of time is good.
Yes. And then also low-flow water fixtures and fixing leaks, rainwater harvesting.
That's kind of cool. I've sold a couple properties that had a rainwater harvesting system, and I wouldn't say it adds value, but I think it adds desirability, which in effect could add value, because now you've got multiple people looking at it, and maybe the price is going to come up because everybody wants that cool house with the water capture feature.
Oh yeah.
Probably not that drastic, but I think it adds desirability, anything like that. Those are all good suggestions.
So I think those are the main ones. And I think the biggest one there is the insulation windows.
Yeah, window replacing. I have argued with people in the past that that's not, really on top of my list of what people care about as buyers. Roof, how much time, how many years are left on the roof? How soon am I going to have to put a new roof on this property? And then windows. Windows, are they the ones that are dual pane, energy efficient, the newer vinyl, PVC, whatever, not the metal that gets wet when it's cold? Even if it's dual pane, you've got that moisture, and then that's causing some, could cause some fungus and damage in the window just from the water, the condensation. So I would argue those are two of the biggest things that add value to your house. Anyway, so
it's something buyers, they walk in, or we see it, and then the buyers notice, and they're like, oh, dollar signs.
Yeah,
have to get new windows, all new windows, because these are all failed, and
or they're older, or they're single pane.
Single pane.
And those, and then, gosh, if you're going to spend some money, on a, like maybe you have like a 1970s house or 60s house, and it has the old single pane, you close the front door and the old windows rattle because they're, spend the money on the windows if you can, if you have the money. There's different places you can get money and then pay, get money for upgrades to get your house ready for the market.
Yeah, definitely.
Get those done if you can, because that definitely is taking away value of your house.
It really does. Yeah.
And it's directly because the buyer is looking at it going, okay, how much is it going to cost for me to replace those windows? Or offer a credit then, and say, we're going to credit whatever the cost is going to be for these windows. It depends on how many windows you have.
And always, as a seller, do your own inspections and figure out what the costs are going to be, because the buyer's going to go in, do their inspections, and have a totally different bid for windows, and it could be like a really high number.
The really expensive thing. So you want to know, what is it really going to cost?
So
that's
do
good.
your due diligence as a seller, and make sure you have all that information ahead of time.
Yeah. Good. And watch out, especially around Earth Day, is the greenwashing. You hear everything is eco-friendly and all the things, and is it really, or is it they just saying it so they can say it? It's like when you see what's all the rage right now, like protein and food and then gluten-free and all of that. It's like, just watch out for that greenwashing.
Always do your research.
I wanted to bring up real quick because we're almost out of time, but we mentioned it at the beginning of the show, so I want to make sure we cover it. Is a property lendable if it's off-grid? And the short answer is yes. And off-grid being it's not connected to any services. They're generating their own electricity. They're getting rid of their own waste. And typically if you have a well and a septic system and you've got your propane if you need it, and your solar, you're good, and you are essentially off-grid. There's other off-grid where it's like you're going to have a composting toilet, and you're going to, harvest rainwater, and you're going to have just somebody come out once a month and fill up a water tank for you. That's questionable then. If a lender, and there are, I'm sure, some lenders that can do some type, they maybe have a program that'll work for that. But in most cases, they want to see a system that's going to last. Also the county isn't real thrilled about things like that either, and they may not be okay with that. You have to have a water source, not somebody filling a tank up once a month. You have to have some way to dispose of your waste. Anyway, all that stuff, that's all I have time for. The short answer is yes, you can talk to us if you have further questions about that. We got to go, though. You find us on Facebook, The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, Norman Home Team, Wine Country, Sonoma County Real Estate Hour on YouTube.
You can also find us on KSRO on the podcast, Ask the Expert, and you will find us there.
Awesome. Gotta go. Have a great day.
You've been listening to The Real Estate Hour, heard every Sunday morning right here on KSRO for over 35 years. Hosted by Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman, local realtors with local real estate experience. A mother-daughter real estate team with Keller Williams Realty Wine Country. Call or text 707-799-3617. DRE license number 0172-0334 and 0220-9237. More next week right here on KSRO.